Very, very warm welcome to the HangOut podcast today. We are happy that you've joined us. If this is your first time, remember to hit the subscribe button down there and the bell icon notification. That will always be notified whenever we go live. And if you're a regular, we want to just welcome you again. We don't take it for granted that you joined us. Remember to share with your friends, loved ones, and anyone you feel may need to, just hear this podcast. Before we go far, we want to say that this episode is proudly supported and sponsored by Motion Cinemas. Motion Cinemas, your one-stop home for the latest movies, and they have a big theater, 3 screens actually to be specific. And I'll put a link down there so you can be able to, just find out more about them and also get to attend and watch movies from any of their cinemas. Before we proceed, I want us to watch something.
Everyone, to the table. Let's go.
Now in theaters.
The house isn't going to decorate itself. Sorry, you could. You look great.
We are all thankful for our magical gifts, and we must never take our miracle for granted.
When dinner is over.
Camilo, stop pretending you're Dolores so you can have seconds.
Worth a shot.
It's time for the movie event.
So what do you like? Sports? Game shows? Telenovelas that love could never be.
Disney's Encanto, rated PG, now playing only in theaters.
All right. If you're a movie person like me, then I know you love trailers. Trailers kind of give us a preview of how the movie will be. So remember to get your tickets. They have offers during the week for specific days. The tickets are cheaper. The movies show both in 2 and 3D. So, if you have a hangout, something that you've been thinking of doing together with yourself, friends, loved ones, this is just the place to go. Now, back to the podcast. I just want to really appreciate the comments and the feedback, the people who even share our links on their pages and social media, groups. We just want to appreciate you. Thank you for the feedback. It really means a lot to us. And as I said last week, if you feel that there's a topic you want us to discuss about, please don't hesitate to write to us, info@Talanta Productions or podcasts@talentaproductions.com. We'll be more than glad to just highlight this, get a professional in that field, or if you are a professional in whatever field and you feel like it's something you want to discuss and let the public know or just shed light, especially in these times, by all means, please get in touch with us. The email is on the screen. We'll be glad to get back to you soonest. So without wasting any more time, let us dive into the discussion today. Welcome. We are excited again to have our guest, Caroline, who is going to continue the 2-part series. We started last week on rediscovering yourself. It was such a great podcast. If you missed it, the link is in our description box below. And we welcome your feedback, your comments, your questions. I'll put Caroline's socials also in the description in case you need to get in touch with her or for more enlightenment or even for speaking engagements. Who knows? So without further ado, Caroline, karibu sana, welcome. Last week we had such a great time about discovering ourselves, and we highlighted a few points. And one of the key things that I remember you really dwelt on was discovering yourself is both divine and natural. Only that somehow when it's divine, when you really understand your core purpose and why you're here on earth, the journey might seem more, let me say, pleasant, even if it's long, but it's pleasant because you really know who you're supposed to be compared to being natural. So today I want us to really be practical about this, in the sense that we want, if you can really give us practical steps, like me today, assuming I don't know who I am or I've lost the purpose, I really want to rediscover myself today. What is the first thing I need to do?
Okay, all right. First of all, thank you very much, Justin, for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you once again to continue with this discussion. So I would say for somebody that wants to discover themselves or somebody that wants to rediscover themselves, because, you know, sometimes the journey of life, at some point, you may go through things that make you even forget or even question who you are. So I would say the first step, is to take some time to think about it. Create time time alone where you spend time thinking about who am I. For the Christian, we are fortunate because that time you don't have to be alone. You and God create some time to spend some time with God, your creator, the person that made you, and ask him, who am I? Reveal to me, who am I? Why did you create me? What is my purpose on earth? Because there is nothing without a purpose. And when purpose is not known, I will quote one of my mentors, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So when you don't know who you are, it is so easy to abuse yourself or abuse the opportunities that come your way. So the first step I would say is take time to think about it. Take time to question. And I would suggest that when you're taking this time, have a journal, have somewhere you can note down what you would find. So that is the first step I would say. And of course, this is anchored on the fact that there's nobody who is a mistake. It doesn't matter how your conception happened. It doesn't even matter the feeling of the person that carried you or delivered you. What matters is the person that put you in that womb. Nobody is a mistake, meaning everybody is here on earth for a purpose. Everybody is here on earth for a mission. And it's important to discover what it is. And the first place to start is by discovering who you are. So that is the first step I would say. Take time, create time. Don't say I'm too busy. This is crucial for you to be able to move forward. So create some time to pray about it and then think about it. I want to caution my brothers and sisters in the Christian faith. Sometimes we pray, but we don't take time to think. Carve out time to think about it, to analyze what you feel, analyze what is going through your mind. When I'm talking about think, I mean think about yourself. The first question you ask yourself is, who am I? So we ask ourselves the following question. So the first one is, who am I? And when I say who am I, what do I mean? First of all, what has my journey been this far? This will talk about your history. This may also talk about your background. That is something you can look at, because we are born in the families we're born in for a purpose, for a reason. We're born in Africa for a reason, So I'm an African woman. And then you ask yourself questions like, what is my personality type? And the wonderful thing is that we have so many tools online that actually enable us to get to know ourselves better as far as our personality type. So you can do some of these tests. One good one I found is the 16 personality test. You just type that on your browser, it will come up, do it. It will give you some pointers as to what your strengths are, what are your weaknesses, even careers that match your personality type. So who am I as far as my personality? The other thing I need to ask myself is, what are my values as an individual now? I like to say, for the young adult that may be listening today, a person may reach a point, you may have been told many things along your journey in life, but a day comes when you have to ask yourself, for me now, what are my values? They're the values the community passed on. They're the values your church passed on. They're the values your parents passed on. But the day comes now when you also be tested as to what are truly your values. When you now determine, for me as a person, this is what is valuable. These are the values I live by. These are the principles I want to live my life by. So you need to also question that. Analyze, what are my values? Look at the life you've been living, and it will tell you the truth. We say you can lie to everybody else, but for heaven's sake, not yourself. So your values, they will reflect in the things you're doing. So I would say in this process, it is important to be willing to embrace the truth we find. So I'd say that is the first step. Ask yourself, who am I? In all those areas, what matters the most to me? And remember last week we said we are different things in different seasons, because different seasons make different demands on us. Different fruit is required of us in different seasons. So it's important when you're asking this question to ask, who am I today? There's who I've been, but today, who am I? What is important to me today? What are my values today? So this is something that you need to create time to do. So that's the first question I would say you need to ask yourself. Then the next question I would say you need to ask yourself in this journey is, what am I good at? I said no one is a mistake. Nobody lands on the planet by mistake, by accident. No. Every person comes here for a mission, for a purpose. And the person that sends us here for this mission is not wicked. He makes sure we are equipped for the assignment. I love movies that have these superheroes whereby they go somewhere, they're equipped, they're told this is, if you use this pen, it can turn into a bomb. If you use this, all kinds of things. So I love those ones. Even Black Panther. There was a time he went there and he got his suit, for those who watch the movie. So I love those times. And you'll always notice, whether it's the Bond movies or the Bourne series or any of these places, you will notice somebody that's been sent on a mission goes to a room where they get equipped. So before you were formed in your mother's womb, you were equipped. Things were deposited in you for your mission on the planet. So it's part of self-discovery also is checking, what did I come with? Because I say this, if you check your equipment and you find what you have as swords, guns, then you came here for war. You're a soldier. That is what you came for. If you find you have cooking pans and such things, for you, your area is in the kitchen. So basically look at the talents you have. When I talk about equipment, what am I talking about? I'm talking about your gifts. I'm talking about your talents. I'm talking about the strengths you have. You will find that in one home, you have 3 children from the same womb. One of them, let's even talk about academic strength. One of them is amazing in the sciences. The other one, amazing in the arts. And one maybe is a mix. So because even as far as academically, there are things that we are strong in and others we're not. Then there's somebody else for them. They may not be good as far as book knowledge and that kind of whereby you're supposed to memorize and then repeat what you have learned. For them, they learn differently. For them, they have gifted hands. So they're gifted in that way. That is where their gifting is. If you give them a guitar, they can play it and you wonder how they learned. You give them a place to paint and you'll be amazed to see what it is that they'll come out with. You give them something to model and they come out with something amazing. They are gifted hands. So you begin to realize what it is you have. Look at what you have. Don't discount anything. Look at what you have, because that's part of your equipment on the earth, whether it's academic strengths you may have, whether it is other giftings that you may have, in whichever area it is important to find out what do you have. So what gifts did you come with? What strengths do you have? What are you good at? That is a very good pointer. And it's part of who you are, this process of self-discovery. Because apart from just knowing who we are, we also want to know why we are, isn't it? And that is why it's important to be able to see that. And I'll say this, there's some things that remain constant. For instance, I'll give myself as an example. I sing and I write songs. This started when I was young. But at some point, because of the demands of life, I spent some years in the corporate sector and I put my music on hold. Now, that dream, that desire to sing, the ability to write didn't stop. It was just on hold. Years later, it's still there, because it's something I came with. It's something I landed to the planet with, and then it gets nurtured, through different ways. So it's important to ask that second question, what am I good at? The third question you need to ask yourself is, what am I passionate about? And maybe before I move on to what am I passionate about, I want to quote one of my mentors as well. He told us, there's a time he said that in the battle between the lion and the crocodile, the terrain will determine the winner. If the lion can pull if the lion can pull the crocodile onto land, the lion has an advantage. If the crocodile can pull the lion into the water, he has an advantage. All of us have a certain terrain where we thrive the most. And that is that area now that you're good at. Find it, cultivate it, till it, and you'll find fulfillment there. There are things you do that just fulfill you. That even before somebody pays you, just by doing it because you're so good at it, you find such fulfillment. It boosts your self-esteem. It just boosts your sense of fulfillment in life. So then the third question I would say we need to ask ourselves is, what am I passionate about? That's the next step. What am I passionate about? And this question, you need to think of it in two ways. Number one, what is that thing that you can do for hours? You just enjoy. You can do it for hours for free. You enjoy it. You just enjoy doing it. What is that thing you're so passionate about? That's one pointer. The other thing is, what is that you feel strongly about? There are things you feel very strongly about. You may be watching news and there's a story that comes about environmental degradation and people are cutting trees and and when you see it, it riles you up. You are upset. You can't believe this is happening. Other people watch that news piece and moved on to other things. They said, oh, that is bad. And they moved on. But for you, for hours on end, you're thinking, if I could do something about this, I will do something about it. One day I'll do something about this. For you, you feel strongly about conserving their environment. Somebody else, it could be about protecting children's rights. Somebody else, it could be about empowering the youth. What is that thing you feel strongly about? Somebody else, it could be giving the African artists a voice, sharing our art with the world. You feel strongly about it. Some of it could be, you feel strongly about the quality of music. When somebody sings off key, I'm sure Justin may be here in this level. It affects you. Like, how can you sing? Please, please, please. Because you feel strongly about producing high quality music. What is it you feel strongly about? What is it you really enjoy? What are you passionate about? So please note these things down. Take time to think about it. Go deep within yourself and ask these questions and embrace the answers you find. So I would say those are some of the questions you need to ask yourself in this process of self-discovery. And because I've said we are different things in different seasons, sometimes it's a rediscovery. The things like I had done, you put on hold. And as you go through this process, you realize this is still my passion. This is still something I would love to do, something I enjoy. Free yourself of the demands on how to get it done. And just ask yourself, if I had everything with me to be able to do this, what would I love to do? Ask yourself that question. You also may need to look at yourself, do a SWOT analysis on yourself. We've talked of strengths, but for heaven's sake, you need to ask yourself about, what are my weaknesses? Right? As you grow up, as part of adulting is being able to own up to where you're weak and do something about it. There is nobody on the earth who is perfect. Okay, if they are there, I've never met them. Because there is, as long as you're in this body that decays at some point, you will not be perfect. They will have some areas where you are weak and areas where you're strong. Now, part of self-discovery, and this is a very crucial part, because when you're not self-aware, you set yourself up for failure. Isn't it? Because if I don't know I'm weak in this area, if I don't realize how weak I am in an area, it is very easy for me to be hit in that area and really just collapse. Because that area that I'm weak is exposed because I've not learned how to manage it. So even as we discover our strengths, we need to also look at ourselves and ask, what am I not good at? As far as where are my areas of weakness? Which areas do I need to work on? Which areas do I need to, you check what are the risks. If I go into this line of career with this weakness that I have, how will I mitigate this risk? How will I manage this risk? If you're the kind of guy who has a weakness for women, that is your area. Then you will know, if you want to say you're going to mentor young girls, that you have to have a way to mitigate that risk. Young, beautiful girls, you have a weakness for women. How will that work out? And you're there to mentor them. So you have to have accountability partners. You have to have boundaries, checks and balances, because you understand yourself. So you're able to own that and manage it. If you're the kind of person who's not very patient, you may not be the right person to go and teach Sunday school. I'll go to teach kindergarten because there is where patience is tested and cultivated, So I'm not saying you will not grow. because, as part of the beauty of growing older is when now you start mellowing with age. You will notice even when you have your personality types, there's the weaknesses that come with every personality type, or the strengths. You notice with some time, you begin to mellow. Somebody who was very introverted that couldn't speak up becomes bold and is able to express themselves, with time. But you see, if you're not aware that you need to work on an area, then you won't work on it or improve. So part of self-discovery is also being honest with yourself about what are your weaknesses. Be honest with yourself. Remember, nobody is perfect. So we're all works in progress. So where are you at in this journey? Where are you at on your own journey? And I think I said this last week and I'll say it again, till your own garden. Don't look at somebody else and wish you are them. No, you have everything you need locked up inside of you to be fulfilled in life and to live a rich life, and have impact in your generation and in your time. So I would say it's important to ask these questions and then embrace the answers and do something about what you find. It's not enough to become self-aware. We must also couple it with self-acceptance. The two go together, So I think that's the first thing I would say. I mean, I've said quite a bit on this, but those are the steps I would suggest that you follow. There are many other ways you can do it, but this is what I would actually share for today. I would say there are things that can help you with this. I mean, of course, the first one I alluded to is ask the person that made you. Ask the maker, who am I? Why did you create me? What's my purpose? And for those who believe in God and actually have a relationship with him through Jesus Christ, and his Holy Spirit is here to lead us, guide us into all truth. He'll lead you into all truth about yourself if you allow him. But you have to create the time to ask the questions. You have to create the time to meditate and listen for the answers. And when you receive the answers, you also have to create time to think about what to do now with what you found. You must think, and the more you think about it, then do something about it. Once you know what you've learned, go out there and now do research on where, for instance, if you discover these are the things I'm good at and you want to make career choices, now do your research. Which careers would utilize what I've discovered about myself? What strengths I already have, and then you just take it step by step. But the first place is think about it, pray about it, and then I'll also say this, from time to time, God will bring people into your life that shine light on that thing that you are. I like to say when I talk about vision, is that vision is inside out, it's not outside in. So God will bring people who will shine light into your room that you're able to see what already exists. They're not the ones who put it there. They just shine a light so you're able to recognize that it's there. When you also have people you admire, your role models, they are like a prophecy of what you can become if you utilize your own gifts and talents and embrace who you are and take your journey with courage. So those are some of the ways I would say. But I think for now, let us create the time to think about it. Let's write down what we find, because when you don't write things down, it's very easy to just forget about it. The good thing, pen and paper never forget, or whatever digital device you want to use to get it. That is what I would say. And then once you find it, embrace it, cultivate your garden, and then enjoy it.
Wow. What an insightful. Hey, that's like so much in to take in, but definitely if you spend time to just re-listen or rewatch, sorry, take it slowly and understand and really try and get what you're trying to say. But the gist of what you say today, unless I'm wrong, it's for me to find myself, I need to first lose myself. Let me explain. The preconceived ideas, the perceptions, the things people have said, like you said, things people have spoken over your life, declarations that have been made. I have to lose all of that and then now get on this journey. I love what you say, that pen and paper never forget, and I've been taking notes as you're talking. And for me, I think it's discovering ourselves is a continual continuous journey. It's like you'll do it, like we said last week. It's something that we'll keep striving at, because God can tell you, or you may discover what your purpose is. You're supposed to be a chef, right? For example. But even when you discover you're a chef, what next? So you'll always keep discovering, open new outlets, introduce new menus. So we'll always just keep the journey of discovery until we live this life. And I think maybe just as we wrap up, there's a quote I had read. Let me see if I can quickly get it. It's just it's by Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
I really loved it. I came across it this coming week, and it said, yes, it says, there is nothing that has happened to you or will ever happen to you that is wasted. Everything is there to show up and make you who you were meant to be. That's so powerful. There is nothing that has happened to you or will ever happen to you that is wasted. Everything is there to show up and make you who you were meant to be. I mean, it's so comforting. It's a quote that encompasses our walk here on earth. That sometimes, like you said, you go through something and you feel like, man, my life has just come to an end. Things are just not working. And you give up. You throw your hands in. But even that bad thing is working together for good. It's still going to be used in discovering who you are. And I mean, I've really loved this topic, because it's one of the things I'm really passionate about: dreams, vision, purpose, discovering who you are. Because if you don't know that, like you said earlier, that once the purpose of something, once it's not known, abuse is inevitable. Not only me, but people will abuse you because you do not know who you are. So you'll be tossed to and fro like the wind. But once you know who you are, it becomes this solid anchor that withstands every storm, just the different waves and seasons of life. And so maybe as we wrap up, I don't know, in 1 minute, if you can, your concluding remarks to everyone that's watching and listening. Anything you want to maybe add in a minute?
I'd like to say that it's beautiful that no matter who may have given up on you, the person that created you has not changed his mind about you. He's not changed his mind about who you are. So I think that's a wonderful thing to remember. And even when it's time to rediscover yourself, go back to him, he that created you, and he'll shine light and allow you to really see the beauty that lies within you. That's what I would say.
Wow. Okay. Deep as always. Very enlightening. Wisdom, divine wisdom. So, Caroline, we really want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for just being with us for the past 2 weeks, this week and last week. And I know that whatever you've shared last week and this week will stay for posterity. Our children and children's children, generations from now, will be watching and listening to this podcast. Should the Lord tarry, and they'll still be blessed by it. They'll still learn so much from it. And, something that is just like a compass to just show them the way to walk. And so I just want to appreciate you. May the good Lord bless all your endeavors, your vision, and everything that you're doing. And I know as we move forward, we'll still invite you, in the very near future to talk about something else, because you're gifted in, God has gifted you in so many aspects. And so we just want to appreciate you so much. And may God bless you.
Thank you.
And also to the viewers who are watching, may you have an awesome week ahead. And as always, let's meet next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Justin. Bye-bye.